Hello there. Welcome. I think I'm ready. Oh, I should probably get, at the very least, Epic Games out. I'm ready to work. Alright. Today is going to hopefully be a fun game development stream. For a few reasons. One, I think it was probably time to do an important step that I kind of missed. And I'll show that first. Actually, two different steps that I missed. Well, one isn't, a normal thing that is required, but I'm doing it because it'll help keep, so I can write down notes. I'll explain what it is. Just give me one sec. So yeah, two things that I've started working on today in anticipation for the stream. Let me actually real quick turn the music down, but again, I don't want to accidentally click on something. All right, just so everyone knows, remember these streams are demonetized by default because of the music. So I would greatly appreciate a like, a subscription if you're sub to the channel if you are interested, to help support the channel and help it grow, or leave a donation if you want to do something like that, or become a member, whatever you want to do. Anything helps because we're not going to make any money from the stream. That's totally fine. I am trying to switch to display. All right, with that out of the way, we can begin. So okay, this was the other thing I was going to show. First, technically I already started this, but this is what I'm calling a technical document adjacent to the design document. The design document's really just an overview of the game, the design, the general structure of things. I've already shown this quite a bit, different, sections of it. It hasn't changed much since, but this other document, the technical document, I started working on this a while ago, not that long ago, though. But this is a little different. I'm more or less using this for like technical notes or pseudocoding, which is kind of like if you're trying to code out what you want to do, but instead of the actual code, you're writing down or typing down words. So a form of pseudocode would be, if this happens, or sorry, if the player does this, then this happens. Literally typed out on paper. That's pseudocode. Just to kind of help you figure out what happens when you're doing certain things. And I'm also using this to kind of help with, with the technical stuff for how things are going to look in the game. What happens when you click on something in a menu. All the different components for different menus and blueprints and stuff like that. So I did go in here, added a few new things, but this is stuff we're not going to get to today. This is where I have the stuff for the door, the bane of all game designers and programmers, and just a breakdown of everything that I want the door to do. You got the puzzle parent, the saving and loading stuff that I had from a while ago. But that's not super important today, I guess. It's just, it's a good thing to have. It helps gives you a place to write things down, write thoughts down, notes, stuff like that. This is the other thing I wanted to show on stream. This is very, very important. This is something that I've been missing for the entire development of this game. Let me hold on, make sure that nothing is, the stream is not falling apart or anything like that. This is, what would you call this? Like a task manager, I guess? Task board for a game project, but you could use this for anything, really. Any kind of project for any industry, really. So right here on the right, I have more or less a breakdown of the MVP, the minimum viable product, which is actually in the design doc. The MVP is basically the bare minimum of what I want the game to have for early access, assuming I decide to go ahead and sell this for early access. But basically, I want to get to the point where I could say this game is functionally done for early access. You know, maybe aside from like some menus need new like visual assets, sound effects are missing, stuff like that. That's fine. That can be handled later. But if all of these things are in the game and functioning, then we're at MVP. We are ready for early access. And I broke it down into 3 milestones here. Milestone 1 is kind of small, but we did handle a ton of, you know, like the design stuff. I've also been doing some of the story and the lore in the meantime, like in between these streams. Technical document, and this is something I have been working on. This also not only includes the item blueprint, but the door blueprint as well. And the design aspects of all of these other tasks are already in the design doc, so you know, part of the work is done. But this first milestone, I've been doing this since October, I think, or November. No, it was October, I think. I have a rough due date for this milestone to be done. That is February 8th. And then milestone 2 is where we start to get into the actual gameplay mechanics and setting up the actual core gameplay. So you're starting from your start menu. You have all the different menus available from there, your inventory, your item management. You can view all your notes. You can view emails, which is something I want to add in as well, like for messages to pop up from NPC characters. Your expenses, your spiritual cleansing option, your markets, all that sort of stuff. And then you can also select your location that you're going to be searching through, exploring, whatever. And then the actual gameplay mechanics of exploring, you know, picking up items, adding them to your inventory, looking at your inventory, interacting with the items in your inventory, the time limit for the level, exiting the level, and then back to the main menu. That is what milestone 2 is going to be focusing on. Actually, I guess milestone 2 is mostly about getting the mechanics ready for the full gameplay loop, which is right here. And then there's also the levels and the tutorial level for milestone 3, and the story and lore stuff that is ongoing. But I would like for that to be done, for the most part, for milestone 3. Milestone 2 is May, and milestone 3 is August. I think that would be pretty solid. That'd be 10 months of development, roughly. Maybe a little less. But who knows? Maybe I can, you know, throw a little more time into this each week off stream, at least a few hours. I know I don't stream this. I'm not streaming these every week. So there's always room, like in between weeks, to do some work on this as well. And in fact, I did do a little work on something that I started last time, which was like 3 weeks ago, I think. The door blueprint. I will show the changes to that. I'm very excited for that. In fact, I need to do a recording of that and make a GIF or something for social media, because it looks pretty cool. I like the way it turned out, at least so far. There's still, you know, a few things to change up here and there. It needs sound effects and stuff like that, but yeah. So for milestone 1, we have item inspection menu. I started this. It still looks very bare bones, and it's missing one component of it. Sorry, I got a burp because I just ate earlier. For some reason, I can't burp, even though it's trying to come out. I started this a few weeks back, or at least a month at this point. So that instead of picking up or clicking on an item, instead of it picking it up, you get the option to inspect, which gives you the option to take the item, put it back, or even read it if it's a note specifically. So that part is actually missing, reading the note part. So that's not done yet, but that's not the priority right now. Tooltips, that's going to be for much later, because some of these things actually require other things to be done. So like this is blocked by the item inventory icon. The door blueprint, I think is more or less done for now. Later on, I will definitely add in sound effects and do some tweaking for the door speed. I am noticing some issues with the way it's opening, but those are things I won't be doing on stream for sure. Item functions is what we're doing today, and the reason why is because it's preventing me from actually starting on these two things. Item inspection menu, because I need the actual functions for all the different types of items done before I can actually get to that, which is the thing that's missing for this. The inspection menu that I started. And the item inventory. Once we're done with the core aspects of the actual item blueprint, then I can start working on all the other things related to the items and the inventory. Item inventory icon. So it's basically like the button that'll appear in the inventory that has the type of item, the icon. When you click on that little widget for the item, what code does it do? What is allowed to be done based on the item? That sort of thing. Inventory sorting, we got to finish the inventory for that first. Item inventory, this is a huge task, and it requires a lot of things to be done for that. And then the puzzle parent as well. So I'm thinking I think it might just be better to focus on things kind of in a specific order. So even though I've been kind of all over the place from the beginning of this development, for the development of this game, this is kind of like a reset almost, and we're going to focus on one thing at a time. So today I'm going to focus on this, and then when that's done, then we can focus on the inventory, icons and widgets and buttons and stuff like that. And then we can go back into tooltips after that, inspection menu, and then the puzzle blueprint class will be, a whole other beast. That's going to be unrelated to most of all this, but that'll probably be the last thing I do. I did change the thumbnail from last time because we did not end up doing puzzle stuff, but that's fine. Once all this is done, and assuming I don't add any more, which might be the case, we should be done with milestone 1. I think I can pull most, if not all of this off by February. Some of this I might end up doing off stream, or finishing it off stream. All right. So I think we are ready. Someone mentioned, or someone asked, Parker Lamb. I'm an idiot, can't read. What is the game about? So the game is kind of like I guess I would say it's like a job simulator crossed with like Phasmophobia, and there are some elements from games like Lethal Company and Resident Evil that I want to pull in for inspiration. And also Stalker 2. I realized some of the things I want to do are done by Stalker 2, but what I mean by that is I'm not straight up just copying Stalker 2 Resident Evil. I'm taking inspiration for how they handle certain things, and I might do a twist on that sort of thing. Obviously a game like let's go down here actually. Like Resident Evil 7 is one of the references I'm using. Resident Evil 7 doesn't have, puzzles. You can do a puzzle if you want to for any game. Resident Evil doesn't have like a, copyright for puzzles. It's not a thing. So really it's just I'm using the Resident Evil 7 reference for the idea of puzzles, locking certain sections of a map, hiding items, that sort of thing. Yeah, and there's a bunch of stuff here for Phasmophobia and Lethal Company. I will probably add Stalker in here as well, Stalker 2 specifically, but really just Stalker in general. But what you're doing is you're going from location to location hunting these artifacts. In this particular world, spiritual energy kind of just flows everywhere, so it's always present. But for some reason, when there are specific types of emotional events, particular negative ones, tragedies, stuff like that, it creates these artifacts called vessels. They're special because they're just everyday objects that concentrate these energies, and then those energies are used by, you know, I don't have a particular term for the person that does this, but someone then takes the vessel and then harnesses that and creates like a tonic from that energy. And this stuff, the vessels and the tonics and all that sort of thing is kind of like taboo. It's illegal. We're in modern days though, so there's still use for them, but like back in the day, that's not gonna work, by the way, Daniel. We're not doing commands today. So like historically, vessels were used for, you know, this and that, and now that it's modern days, they're used for more modern problem solving. So eventually I would like to add like a black market and stuff like that, but for now we're just gonna keep it kind of simple. So you're gonna be going into locations that are, I kind of want to go for the vibe of haunted, but not necessarily. Like there's not ghosts around trying to like get you or whatever, like in Phasmophobia, but it's going to have that haunted feel and sound. You're gonna be picking up the vessels and other types of things. You're gonna be finding like crafting materials, story notes, you know, like journal pages, newspaper clippings, books, that sort of thing. And then there's going to be story specific vessels that actually unlock part of the story. You will have a time limit. Once that time limit's up, you have to leave. When you have a sanity meter, which is kind of like your health, so if you pick up too many vessels, your sanity reaches 0, you pass out, you lose everything. And you can, you know, replay each location more than once. You're gonna have to, because that's how I'm gonna design it. You can't really finish the whole the story for a specific location in one go. You're gonna have to play it multiple times in order to actually finish it, because there are going to be, you know, I'm gonna design requirements to actually finish it. So like, say these buildings are locked, so you need to find the key, but you might run out of time before you find the key. There might be a puzzle that prevents you from actually reaching this item, which is required for the story. Maybe you need a specific equipment in order to traverse a specific area in a map, that sort of thing, which takes time. It's going to take money, unlocks, progress, that sort of thing. That's a brief overview. If you want like a really extensive overview of the game, check out the first VOD for the series. It's like the first half of the stream where I go over the design document. It's most of this is already there. The only thing I think that's different is the lack of the reference section here, and that's about it. Oh, Jesus. Oh, and a story clarification for why vessels are important. But I'll leave this on screen for a sec if you want to look at the story. I might make a video about this, actually. It might be a good idea to have like a video that's just about the development and the design of the game. Just going over the design doc and what I envision, I guess. But yeah, hopefully that's enough time to either read it or screenshot it. I doubt it, so maybe you might want to take a screenshot. But I think that's about it that I wanted to do before I actually get into Unreal. So I'm gonna hop over to this, cover this, because I have sensitive things in my Unreal Engine, or on my Epic Games Launcher, whatever, same thing. For, you know, game projects that are under NDA, I cannot show, you know, the name of the project, stuff like that. So I'm covering the screen, I'm opening vessels. Give me one sec, because this is gonna take a little bit. We're trying to open up a game project here. Oh yeah, that reminded me. I should probably mute the stream alerts. Like I said at the beginning, though, please make sure to leave a like on the live stream, because we are not monetizing this. So if you can, at least do that to help with the algorithm. Subscribe and hit the notification bell too if you decide you enjoy the content, whether if it's game development or the Long Dark or the live streams in general. Please and thank you. Alright, can you please open? It didn't open. It shouldn't take forever though. I opened it earlier. Alright. We got it. Okay. Ooh, don't show the magic quite yet. So, the last time I was streaming this, which was about 3 weeks ago, I got started on the door. And I explained earlier, kind of a little bit briefly, but during the previous stream, why the door is such a complicated thing to implement into a game. A door is a simple thing, right? But there are, a lot of limitations for getting the door to work quite right. And it depends on the engine, it depends on what you want it to do, it depends on what you don't want it to do, depends on like physics, collisions, all sorts of things. Depends if you've got AI that you want to be able to interact with the door. There's a lot of different factors that go into making a door an easy thing to make or a difficult beast to conquer. And I've made a door before and it was mind-numbingly difficult to set up. And I was doing that around the time, I think, when The Last of Us 2 came out. And I think there was an article about how even they had difficulties with the door, or how it worked in the game. I don't remember. I think it was The Last of Us 2. So like I felt honestly kind of, accomplished when I got that door working back, 4 years ago, I think, 5 years, something like that. I was very proud of myself. But, oh my god, the headaches, the hair pulling, just to get it to work perfectly. And it wasn't perfect, even back then. This one is still far from perfect. But I've done some tweaking a little bit. I did actually end up fixing the code so that I can open it and close it, Really, it's kind of hard to test this because I don't have like a proper setup here. So maybe let's make a proper setup. Like an actual wall here. Hold on. Let's do this. Let's, instead of like testing it like, the way I've been doing, let's actually test it as if this was a wall here we had to get around. Actually put the door to the test in a proper, door setting. Alright, so now I can't get to the other side. Well, hold on. Now I can't get to the other side without opening and closing the door. Is that good? I want to make sure this thing doesn't, like, collide with this wall. Even that it shouldn't be an issue, really. There. This should be a way better way of testing. Okay, so now I'm literally trapped in here. Like, in this area. Alright, so you can see the collisions, those boxes there. That's how you interact with the door. There's one on each side, and the one that you overlap first is the one that will trigger which way the door goes. So if I'm on this side, I want the door to always go away from me. That is the basic of how I want this to work. Okay, character's a little too chunky to fit through. Excuse me. Let's fix that. Definitely need to look at the player character then for that to make sure they can go through this. Okay. So if I click here, it should close. It doesn't really matter which side I click, like which side I interact from. It's still gonna close. So now if I'm on this side, it's gonna open. If I click it again, it's gonna close. If I open it and then try to interact with this, it's actually kind of finicky for some reason. But like, there's another collision here, I can't reach it, which is actually kind of good, even though I haven't done anything to prevent that. Look, it doesn't matter which one I interact with. If it's closing, it always closes back to the default position. There was an issue with the code that I set up. I just needed to make a quick fix, and it's fixed. I actually, maybe having the door frame now and everything, not the door frame. This isn't really a door frame, but you know what I mean. This is a wall. This actually might fix. No, yeah. See, look, I could actually reach in there. I need to make sure that when I do set these doors up in the levels, that I cannot do this. That is important because I'm overlapping. There's like an invisible capsule attached to my camera. So whenever you see the square there, that means I'm overlapping one of these collisions. So whichever one I overlap first is the one that is going to trigger the door opening. So if I did this, see, I overlapped that one first, and then I moved. Okay, I lost it, but see, okay, now I'm definitely overlapping both of them. But I overlapped this first one first. I need to like tweak this a bit just to make sure that you cannot somehow like go up to the crack of the door, even though, you know, this isn't an issue. It really isn't. The player couldn't just go up to the crack, you know, the crack between the door and the frame and open it from the other side somehow and push it into themselves. But it's not a big issue. I don't think it'll break the game. Realistically, these walls will be closer. I think we're good, more or less. And it's I like the way it's working. It works. You know, it's got that minor issue with the collision detection here. I can, you know, I could collide with the one that I don't want to from the other side, but that's totally fine. I can probably fix that with actually setting these up in the level. And the only thing that's missing is just maybe a little bit more polish on the speed that it moves. And then sound effects, but I'm not worrying about that right now. That's gonna be quite the ways further down the road. Once I got that done, I started working on the actual door type. So now, this is specifically for the village, but I have an enumeration here. So I have a list of different door types, and these are the door names from the village pack. And I type village first, so that way I know it's from the village. I don't want to open it, but it's a post-Soviet village. So these are the different doors that are from that asset pack. So whenever I go to the door, so if I go to this door, and I click on door type here, which I made visible for when you set these up in the world, the door type changes the door model. It changes the size of the collision, the position of the collision, and for some of these doors, it does actually have to like, for this one, I remember, no, not this one. This one it's actually a right-facing door, so I had to invert it. So I had to do that for this one. This one was at a 90-degree angle, so I had to make changes to that. But all of these are from the village, and they are now ready to go and be added to the village itself, so that I can actually have functioning doors. Yeah, and all the collisions adjust their position and size and shape according to the type of door. Some of these are actually basically duplicates, like this and this and this. They're all the same size. There's just a couple minor changes to the mesh shape. But overall, it's the exact same size and position for all of the collisions. Wait, are you a developer or just doing for fun? I'm actually a game developer, Juan. Yeah. Outside of YouTube, I am a game designer, programmer, whatever. You want it's like a general game design developer position that I'm in. But for the most part, I focus on programming. Do I like orange juice? I'm being asked by Orange Juice if I like orange juice. Kind of. It's okay. It's not my favorite, but it's good. Alright, so that is all said, and done. I'm done with the door. For now. the door is done. I'm gonna go ahead and mark that on the task board as done for now. Later on, I will do, you know, polish and sound effects and stuff like that. So next, like I said earlier when we were looking at the task board, I'm going back to the item parent, and I'm gonna be adding in item functions. So first, let's definitely make a list of functions here, because we're gonna need a lot of different types, and the ones that can be used. Jesus, the burps. Oh my goodness. The functions that an item can use will be determined by the type of item. So let's start with just being able to pick up items, which we already have handled, right? Pretty sure we have that fully working. We're no longer using this because we're not doing, we're not using the billboard anymore. We can get rid of that. Event interaction, take item. So we're setting the location. Yeah, we can actually look at this in game. So the same capsule that's on my camera, it's invisible, I know, but it's there, trust me. When you see the little square, that means I'm interacting with something that I can collide with that capsule. So this is the item inspection menu. Yeah, whatever. That's what I'll call it. Item inspection menu. So you can click it, left click it to take, right click it to drop, and if this was a, those are, okay, so there is a mouse cursor on screen. It's invisible though. Those buttons, did I make those buttons? I guess I made those buttons. They should not be buttons because those are just there to like tell me what does what. Actually, in fact, it doesn't even tell you what does what. Left click, left mouse should be take, right mouse should be drop, and the space bar is to read if it has a reading component to it. So I guess what we could do is every item could be inspected like read, so the space bar. I guess that would be the easiest way to do it instead of like only allowing certain items to be read. I should allow all items to be read, and it should display flavor text and any other, you know, important information. So notes themselves will have their flavor text, but also the details that the note provides. A consumable might have flavor text and then the details on what it does, like what does it do for the player when you consume it. So yeah, that's all set up. The space bar, which is the read, is not available quite yet. And if I left click it, we take the item and that gets added to an inventory. We'll get to the inventory eventually. Functions. Okay. Can I not do that? Oh, there we go. Interact. Shit. I guess I gotta keep pressing shift for that. Inspection, which was already done. So interact is done. Inspection is done. Take is done. Drop. Okay, we're not gonna call it drop. Don't take. I know that doesn't make sense, or there's probably a better wording for it, but there is going to be something called drop. So we've got those done. I wish there was a way to make these a different color. That's fine. I'll leave a space here. So we need consume. That's for consumables and only consumables. We have drop. This is from the inventory. So drop from the inventory. We need read, but read is gonna have to wait a while. Actually, no, that's fine. We could just use fake text for now. read. Okay, so we're gonna have read from inspection and read from inventory. There's gonna be two different options there, or two different, things that this specific function will do. Consume, drop, read. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that might come up. Let me look at the item types. Item type. Vessel, treasure. So vessels, some vessels can be dropped and some cannot. The ones that cannot be dropped are the story specific ones. Treasures can be dropped. Ingredients can be dropped. Consumables can be consumed and dropped. Equipment cannot be dropped. Notes cannot be dropped, but they can be read. Equipment can all no, equipment can that's different. It all depends on if I allow equipment to spawn, but there's going to be like different types of equipment. I might have to split this particular category of item, because there's like equipment that you have to buy and or craft that is like a one and done. You just have to buy it the one time or acquire it the one time. But then there's other equipment that are you can have multiple of, like a torch. That's going to count as an equipment, because that's kind of like an alternative to a flashlight or a lantern. Or maybe I'll just do torch and lantern. We'll see. That's fine. Yeah, from what I can think, this is all I need. Consume, drop, read. Is this being used somewhere? Yes, we do need that. Okay, just wanted to make sure we need that for something, because it's got such a generic name, but quite literally what I do, I do need this particular variable called default location. That is the location of that item on begin play. The spot that it's in. Alright, so these last three are the ones that we need to work on. The first four are already done, more or less. We also need some variables. Can item be, can be consumed. True or false. We'll leave it as default. We'll leave it as false by default. And then can be dropped. And we'll leave that as false by default. So that's going to determine if an item is consumable, or if an item can be dropped or cannot be dropped. All items will be readable, but most items won't have a whole ton of details to them. Mainly the read function is so that you can inspect notes and journal pages and stuff like that, or even the story related vessels. So if can be dropped is false. Actually, let's name this. Let's get a better name for this. Is key item false? So if it is a key item, it cannot be dropped. Let's rename this as well. Is consumable. For some reason, when I'm making variables, it's particular booleans, I always default. I like false to be the default for everything. So when I set up a boolean, I want the name to reflect the true for the boolean as like something that gets set later. So the default for me is always false. So the name has to reflect that. So is consumable. I want them to not be consumables by default. So false, this is set to false all the time. So the name is consumable, because I want it to be false by default. It's like the opposite, it kind of makes sense in my head. I don't know if it makes sense in yours. Is key item. By default, they're not going to be key items. So I want the name to be is key item. There we go. And I do want them to actually, we'll keep them as false for now. Now is the hard part. So within these two functions right here, we have interact, inspect, take, and don't take, right? Yeah. Actually, where is don't take being handled? I think that's on here, if I'm not mistaken. These really don't do anything. I don't know why I made these buttons. They shouldn't be buttons. Yeah, these are not supposed to do anything really. Let me make these not hit testable. That way they don't interact with anything. This just makes it so that it cannot interact with the mouse. It's still visible though. Yeah, I don't know why I made those buttons. Those don't need to be buttons. Okay, so that's actually being handled in the item, I think. It might actually be in the player. I'm trying to refresh myself on this, or remind myself on this, because it's been about a month and a bit since I looked at some of this code. Yeah, it's gonna be in here most likely. I really should I should color this as like. Oh, I guess that's grade. Okay, never mind. Dark grade, I mean. So this is all my code. This was for testing. Okay. Got it. Here it is. Gotta look at our controls here. Item inspection. So that would go to here. Nope. Here. Am I setting this twice? I am. Got it. Okay. I think that's redundant, is it not? I'm already setting it here. Yeah, there's really no point in doing that twice. I don't know how that happened. So event inspection is doing this. That's event inspection. And then from there, how did I do this? Event argument or arc. Got it. Here it is. Okay, now I got it. Okay, so by default, we are in gameplay controls. And then we pick up an item, and then we trigger item inspection on the item, and then we're setting the controls to item inspection. So the next time I left click, we are in item inspection mode. So if we left click again while we're in item inspection mode, we're actually taking the item. So that's item interaction, which is there, and that brings you to here. Awesome. And then back to the player. If we're in item inspection, that only specifically works when you're in item inspection mode or gameplay settings. So then you are not taking item. So this is the key difference here. So here we're taking the item, here we're not taking the item. Okay, I got it now. See, it's a good thing to review your code, 'cause sometimes you forget after a few weeks, or sometimes you find a mistake or, you know, a redundancy like I did just now. Okay, now I got it. So this right here handles 3 of the 4 functions that are done. And what's the other one? The 4th one. I guess take and don't take are the same, right? Yeah? Oh. I guess these are the same. But not really. Yeah, these are the same more or less. Okay, so we're good. Those are all covered. Those 3, 4, I guess. Whatever. Okay, so consume. So for these other 3, these are going to be a little different because not every item is going to be able to do all 3 of these. So what I'm going to do is set up a function on this item parent. I'm actually going to set up 3. We're going to call them consume item. Actually, technically only 2 of them are... yeah, only 2 of these are going to be needed. Consume... That's misspelled. Consume item and drop item. And then the read we'll do after this. Let's focus on these 2 because these are gonna work a little differently. So in order to actually consume item, it needs to be consumable. That's the wrong one. Okay. Now, before I go any further, I have to decide on whether if I want to use the one item blueprint I want to make children. I think it might be better to make them children. So basically, we're gonna empty this. In fact, yeah, that's fine. We'll leave them empty. And so what we can do with that later is when we're on a child blueprint, we can override the function. So basically it avoids whatever the parent does unless you want to also use what the parent code is in these functions. Or you can just completely avoid it and override it entirely. I think it might be better to do this. Oh, this is not even the right place. What am I doing? Items, put it in there. Okay. So we're gonna make a child. What this is basically just a duplicate, but there's a hierarchy. The parent is always at the top, and the child will be able to do everything that the parent does, but the parent cannot do what the child does if it's unique code. So normally you want your parent to do everything that all the children can do, or even if it's just some of the children. like a majority of them. But sometimes you want a child blueprint so that you can add some unique code that only the child will do. So this is going to be the consumable. Consumable item. And in the consumable item, we are going to the class defaults. And the item type by default is consumable. The rarity, we're not going to worry about that. And then is consumable. I guess we wouldn't need to set this. We could just have it on construction. Item type, if item type is consumable, set is consumable to true. That's fine for now. It's not a huge issue, I guess. So in here we can remove these. So this is now calling everything that the parent does in begin play. So the parent is doing this on begin play. So it is doing this right here is basically the equivalent of what's going on here, because this is from the parent. But maybe I want some additional stuff happening here, like say print string and it says hello. So I can put a consumable item. Oh my Jeebus. Put a consumable. I know it's massive, but it's not supposed to be like that. And the consumable printed hello. It was only up there briefly, but it did work. But the parent didn't do that because the parent does not have the string. The print string. Okay. So, yeah, we could go to the override function. So we're here in functions, override, and find the consume item. We're overriding it. So we can remove this, which there's nothing there, so it doesn't matter. This is on the parent. This is on the child. So this is actually going to depend on the type of consumable. So I'm going to have to like come up with some... Uh-oh, bill collector's here. With some consumables right off the bat. I'm trying to think. Technically, the player does not have health yet. Right? Yeah, we don't even have health yet. We've got a bunch of variables here that we're not even going to be using. Yeah, okay. So let's go ahead and make sanity. Sanity. Current sanity value. I'm going to make that a float. It'll be easy to work with. Or... we could work with whole numbers. Let's work with whole numbers. Actually, no. Actually, no. I don't like... Sometimes I get the ick from integers. I don't know why. Sometimes. Okay, so that's the current sanity value. Let's just make a simple consumable that increases and decreases sanity. So the item parent, does this have a player character reference? Yes. Okay. So I guess for this, what I'm going to be doing is I'm just going to hijack this function or event, I guess, technically. I'm gonna switch the false off, but specifically for the consumable. Or I guess what I could do is this instead. We're just gonna kind of hijack this. Branch. Get or is equal to, if this is equal to consumable, then if it's false, do that. If it's true, we're going to do something else. We're going to call the consume item. This is just so that I can test it. Right now, I don't have, a definitive list of items and the different things they can do, consumable items. Nor do we have the inventory set up at all, because this is supposed to be an inventory function for the item. So when you click on the consumable in your inventory, the option to consume comes up. Or I could also add consume to the inspection menu if that's desired, but we'll see. Let me close some notifications. God, Bill clicked every time you come in with that evil looking emoji, whatever you want to call it. It's not an emote. That is sinister, but I love it. I might have to make that a channel emote or something like that. We'll see. Alright, so that's set up on the parent. On the consumable, we're just gonna get the player character. Oh, wait. Get player ref. Typing hard sometimes. I'll go ahead and future-proof this a bit. I'll add in a health function. I don't want to call it set health because maybe there's upgrades later and we want to set health before gameplay starts. And I want to call it add sanity or subtract sanity. Adjust sanity to set. Just adjust player sanity. I think there's a better name for this. Maybe not adjust. Not modify. Because this is not only going to be something that the consumables can access, it's also what the vessels are going to use to reduce your sanity when you pick them up. So this is going to be used in multiple places. But I don't want to call it add or subtract. Sanity, I don't want to call it adjust. That doesn't sound right. Modify doesn't sound right either. I'm not sure what to call it. We'll just adjust player sanity for now. I'll think of a better name later then. So this is going to input a sanity value. And that's going to be a float. That can be negative too. Whoops. Okay, we need a sanity max. And a sanity min, but that's 0. So we don't really need to make a variable for that. So let's say the sanity max is 100. The current sanity value is 100. I want to make this first so that we can actually use this in the future. Just, have it ready, future-proof the sanity, modifier function, whatever we want to call it. That way we can, when I get to the actual health bar, essentially, this is already ready, said and done. I want it to be fully functioning. Because if you take this plus this, if it's a positive, it's just going to add them. That's fine. If it's a negative, it's going to subtract it. Yeah, because you can technically do 1 plus minus 2, which is just 1 minus 2, technically. So that should work. That should be fine. And then we're going to clamp this. So a clamp is basically just going to prevent it from going past the maximum or the minimum. The minimum is 0. The maximum we are hard setting. And then we're going to set this here. All right. So this should cover, you know, making sure it doesn't go above the maximum. There would be more code here, like say if this equals, or I guess less than or equal to 0, even though technically we are already preventing it from going below 0. This is just, you know, good practice. Good practice for the math here. If it reaches less than or equal to 0, we want player death here. Or we're not technically, it's not technically player death here. This is player, I'm just going to put player death in quotes. It's not actual death. What is happening is you are basically passing out and you're losing everything. You're losing all your progress for that vessel hunt. Well, you don't lose everything. You actually, no, yeah. I do actually kind of like the idea of you losing everything. That includes your equipment, which you have to craft. That's kind of part, yeah, that's like, that's a thing from, I'm taking from Phasmophobia, because I believe when you die in that, you drop everything. So any special equipment you bought or whatever in that game, I actually don't remember how you acquire the equipment, but you lose it if you die. I want that to happen here, but you're not actually dying. Like it's kind of like a thing where you just kind of pass out, and then all of a sudden you wake up, it's morning, all of your stuff's gone, but then you just carry on with your day. That sort of thing. But you lose that day's worth of work, basically. So that's where this leads. I'm just gonna put a reroute node there, just so I know. False will probably do nothing. That's about it. So that should handle that. I guess we can print it each time. Print it, and then we'll make it green. We'll make it last 5 seconds. So anytime this function is called, it's going to print the health value. So let's actually start the sanity at not 100, you know, for testing purposes, 50. Okay, so now we have a function on the player we can call here. Adjust player sanity. And for this, again, not every consumable is going to do this. Eventually, we're going to have like consumable type, and then from there we're going to pull a switch, and then it's going to look similar to this. Oops. It's going to look very similar to this. It's a switch. So that's the door type, and then the type determines which path we are taking in the code, and it does all the work to set up the variables, etc., etc. We're going to have that on the items as well, but it's specifically towards like items that are going to be doing different things, even though they're the same type of item. We're going to have different types of consumables that do different things. Some will add health, some may, you know, reduce the amount of sanity you lose whenever you grab an item, but maybe you know, maybe it does a negative stat of some sort somewhere else. For now, we're just gonna test it out by doing a very basic consumable function. I'm actually gonna randomize this. Random float in range. Let's do negative 15 to 15. Excuse me. I'm gonna make this. Christ. Actually, I can actually go ahead and make this an actual like food item, even though we're not gonna be doing like food items. Let's Event begin play. No, event construction. I guess we could do it on the parent. So what the construction does is whenever you place an item down, or whenever you refresh it, or whenever you compile the blueprint, the construction is going to make changes based on whatever you put in here. So like going back to the door, because this is actually perfect to explain what's happening here. On event construction for the door, I'm setting set door type. It's taking this, which is already preset beforehand, like what door it is exactly. This is specifically so that it changes the appearance of the door. And event construction, as soon as it's refreshed, it does whatever it's being told to do, whatever code. So you can literally see the code changing based on the red line there. And visually, this is actually changing, all because of construct, the construction script. And that all coincides with this. So that's what I'm doing here. By default, I want to leave this as just like the first door by default. We don't need the door anymore, but it's handy having it so that we can show examples of certain things. So I want to do the same thing here. Really, the only thing I want to do is the static mesh. So here's the thing that kind of worries me, is that I may have to add a collision to the item parent, because there might be items that are just too small to like try to point at easily. So they might actually need like a sphere around them. If we reach that point, then I can do that. So we're gonna set static mesh. No, that one. Okay, so we can have static. Actually, let's not do this on the parent. I'm rethinking, like, do I want this for the future? No. Let's just put it on the child. Because I might change this entirely. Set static mesh. I wanted to try to set it to random meshes. Make array. Array. Can I not make array? Make array. Oh, okay, yeah. Random, right? Random array item. There we go. Is there a reason why? Oh, get. I'm being dumb. And then length, hold on. Plug that into there. There we go. That's why that wasn't working. And we're gonna get the length of this -1. Because arrays work kind of weird. By default, the first entry in array is the 0 index. So the index is basically just telling you what position in the array a certain entry is. Even though there's 4 items in the array, the length, if you were to print that, it would print 4. But we want to start with 0. So oh, right. We're getting the no, that was right. Getting the length -1, because we need to, instead of this being maximized at 4, we want it to be maximized at 3. And then random integer from in range. This is all kind of like a mess here, but it makes sense. So this is the max, and the minimum is 0 because we can start at 0 because it's an array. That way, no matter how many of these I add, I could add like 50 million of these items, meshes into this array. I'm not actually going to do that. I don't have to actually change how it selects the random mesh. It's all handled by this, and this accounts for any changes to the size of the array. Alright, simple enough. So I actually do have food static meshes in here, assets from the village pack. Can I just type food? Actually, no, I think I remember kiosk, right? Yeah, they're part of the kiosk. Okay, so again, for the actual game, I'm not going to have food items. I'm not doing that. What I'm doing is just using this to temporarily differentiate what they look like, just to make them look different each time. What does that even look like? I don't even know what that is. So we have a couple of different things here. That looks like a Pringles bar, or bar. Pringles jar. Okay, that's good. Remove. Good. So now it'll pick a random one. So we can see it is wait a minute. It's H&H instead of M&M. So if I keep compiling, it's hitting that construction script, so it's randomizing what it looks like. Oh, that's basically Nutter Butter. Nutter, what is it? Not Nutter Butter, Nutella. Nutmaster. Oh, God. Oh, that's unfortunate. And I said that live. Ooh, Oreos. Not Oreos. Alright, so if we look at the items here. Let me make a fake table for now. It's not an actual table. Delete you. We are going back to here. So if we just drag and drop them here, oh, you can see it. Every time I move position, it re-hits that construction script and and changes the mesh each time. It's re-randomizing it. Even if I've already placed it, if I move it again. Hold on, let me try to get a different one. Shoot, it moved. There we go. Oh, even... Hold on. Oh, I guess not. That's fine. Let's just put a bunch of these here. I'm hoping this works. So again, these are all consumables. If I click on them, they're going to either increase or decrease my health. It's going to print health. Let's double check this is all ready. I think we're good. All right. I hope we can actually collide with all these. Okay, we can. Yeah. Okay, good, good. I was concerned that maybe this wouldn't work, but it looks like it's pretty accurate. Okay, see, it printed 39.8, so it did decrease my health there. But the item is still there. I totally forgot. We need to destroy. This is going to be replaced because we're going to have a oh yeah, I guess we do gotta add that. Well, it'll be part of consume, right? There's no other item we could destroy, right? Because if you drop an item, it's actually going to drop in the world. So no. So that would be inherent of consume. So this is going to be, you know, a place where we have to check the game control. Hold on, how do we check that? controls type. Player controls type. This is where we have to check the controls type. If we are, oh, I guess not controls type. Right? Or was I right? No, yeah, we want this. Yeah, I was right. Player controls type. But we don't want a branch, we want to switch. So if we are in inspection mode, we are actually physically looking at the item and consuming it from there. We're not adding it to our inventory at all, we're just consuming it right off the bat. Destroy actor. But if we are in a menu, say our inventory, then we want to remove the item from our inventory variable, which is different than destroying the actor. So that should work. I don't know why I flipped around. Right click and it's gone. And it increased my health. Increase it again. Increase again. Math. Decreased it. See, and it's completely random variables too, or values too. Decrease it again. Decreased it. Decrease it. Alright, and that's set up perfectly. So that's just so that you can consume it right off the bat while you're inspecting it. I think that's good for now. I think we need to get to actually, you know, to the menu, the inventory stuff later, and that's when I'll set up the other remove consumable for the inventory specific side of things. Hello, call sign, welcome. How are you doing? I think we're good on the consumable, right? So item parent, you can close these, you can close that. So consume is done. At least consume inspection. Right, we need to differentiate these, I think. Come on. Consume inventory. So consume inspection is done, consume inventory is not. Let's go ahead and just do this. Just for my sanity's sake. Read from inventory, read from inspection. So, what you see at the bottom of the screen in inspection mode definitely needs to change based on what type of item it is. I still want to include read as well for all items, because then you can inspect the name of the item. Actually, the name of the item should be at the top all the time. Never mind. So at the top, we got to show the item. I need to add this to the Asana board for the HUD. I need to just get the HUD on the Asana board in general. Oh, hey, we're not doing sound alerts today because we're doing game development right now. No sound alerts for this particular stream. So I'm going to have to do some changes to this. I think I'll do this off stream, but that's going to have to go in the Asana board along with the player HUD, because I definitely want to start working on the player HUD and just adding things as we go. So basically the bottom bar that would be there with the 3 options is going to have to change based on the item. So all items would have take, read, and drop, but the consumables will have a 4th option, which is consume. So I'll have to change that up as well. Alright. Did that change mesh? No. That looked weird. It looked like it changed. Okay, never mind. It says prongles. Oh god. Okay. So consume inspection is done. I want to work on dropping. Oh, right. We can't do this because this is from inventory. What? Right. We can't do from inventory stuff until we get the inventory set up. Ah, okay, okay. So we'll do this stuff on another time when we get to inventory. This is just straight up a Stardew song. The hell? This is the main menu song, I think, right? Yeah. Alright, so we need read. So you know what? Let's just get to this what's happening on the HUD here. Let's make these changes now. First off, these don't need to be buttons. That's not the point. It's basically just telling you which button to press and what it does, which I've technically failed to even do here. Let me change these to we need a, I guess image would work. Honestly, I feel like I should just start playing the Stardew Valley theme song or soundtrack for this, because what just happened? Oh, because it technically doesn't have copyright issues like this other, like the rest of this music does, but I don't know if that would fly. I'm not necessarily sure. So we're putting this into this. Oh, right, that can't carry that. It's not like a container. A border can be a container, but that can also just look like a picture, basically, an icon. There we go. So we can get rid of that. That we need to make it black now, because we cannot see the text. Oh, right, the spacing. I'm gonna have to redo that. Shit. 100 to the right. So, hold on. Let me rename these. Left click box. So 100 to the right. Perfect. And then we get rid of that. It looks more or less the same. Actually, now that I think about it, excuse me. This should read take. I wish I could get this to be the same size. I hate that it's not. This is what I hate about doing like widgets and HUDs and stuff like that in this engine. So this should say read. And this should say drop. Okay. So that's 100 to the right as well. And right 0. Wait, hold on. Huh. I'm gonna... Actually, that will just copy the... that's fine. No. Delete the text. Put it there. Do it again. Delete the text. Put it there. So this goes in there. And I have to delete the button. This goes in there. Delete the button. This needs 100. That doesn't need 100. Hello? Why didn't that work? There we go. Still centered. Nice. I mean, they look more or less the same size, but not really. That's fine. Let me change these as well. Let me name these by the appropriate, you know, action that this is doing. Take box, read box, and drop box. And then... what is this? This is a horizontal... what is it called again? Horizontal box. Literally horizontal box. So I do want a vertical box, actually. We're gonna add it to the border, and we're gonna move the horizontal box with all of those buttons and the text into that. Oh, but this should be here. There we go. There we go. That was weird. Why is that there? Yeah, I'm not sure why this is here. Did I... Ah, I've got a translation here. Got it. Can I just make this 400? And then this, bring this back up to 0. Actually, let's make this like 350. That should be good, I guess. And then 50. Okay. Well, actually, never mind. We don't need that. We don't need the no. So the vertical box is going to allow me to stack things in a, you know, vertical positions, and they're all lined up according to the rules of the vertical box. So that it's the same thing that I've got here. What's containing these white boxes with the text for the different actions for the inspection menu. It's the same thing. This is just horizontally, and again, it's determined by the rules over here on the right side for this particular box. So horizontally, vertically allows me to do basically another horizontal, but I'm deleting all this. I'm putting it above the original. Hold on. So I'm renaming this to inspection actions, because these are the particular actions. Inspection actions, and then inspection buttons. But for now, I'm just doing text because I don't have icons to put in here. I'll change what these look like in a sec. Eventually I will switch it out and add like PC control icons or controller button icons. So padding 100. And then this is 0. Is there a reason why this is not lining up? It should be identical. So this is actually going to read left mouse button. This is going to read, or say space. This is going to be right mouse button. Why is this not lining up? Oh, I guess because maybe the boxes that are missing. So then Yeah, it might be because the box is missing. 50. 50. Let's just start from scratch here. Or even better, I'm gonna definitely have to look at this at some point. Yeah, this'll be fine. Negative 100. Okay, that's more or less centered. And then positive 100. Perfect. Okay, that's better at least. Let me actually make these so I can at least see them. There should be a way to do like a, is this it? No. Outline. 3. And then make that white. Yikes. 2. Just so I could see it. It's fine. This is definitely not, you know, final. And so so that's fine now. That's perfect. But now I need to basically copy both of these and make a duplicate of it. But we only need one. We can remove the padding too. And I'm actually going to add... So this is consumable button. This is specifically for the consumable. Consumable action. And padding for this, 100. Is that too much? Yikes. 0. Actually, let's not add padding. Let's just do a translation. Oh, no. 50. Too much. 25. And then 50. Or 25. There we go. So this is consume. Oh, consume box, I guess. So this is consume text. Wait, did I name all these consume? You know, they're appropriate. Oh no, they're just straight up called text. Okay, that's fine. That's gonna say consume. That's fine. If it changes size, that's fine. Okay, so consume button, the horizontal box, which I guess doesn't need a horizontal box technically, but let's just leave it as is. We're gonna make that hidden, and that consumable action is also hidden. Wait, aren't these all hidden by default? Oh, they're all hidden by default. Okay, never mind. So when we enter inspection mode, what is triggering the HUD to become visible? Is that here? No. That's got to be on the player. Yeah, that's in here. Is that not right here? Ah, item inspection. There it is. Okay. HUD ref inspection actions. We're making it visible. Oh, that's specifically inspection actions. Okay, so then we can, that's good, that's good. So then we can do get inspection buttons as well. And if we are oh, we do have a reference to the item itself, so oh, but it's a got it. It's a blank actor, so it's not an actual item class. I guess the item can handle it. So like we had it here before, but instead of that, oh, shoot. What we can do is, hold on, let me clean this up. This looks kind of messy for my standards. There we go. If this type of item is a consumable, so equals consumable. We're basically doing this, but for the HUD. So we need player, get player, get HUD, and then copy. We can get rid of the interface. Copy this, or just this. I guess I could also type it, but I'm lazy sometimes. Sometimes it's just easier to do that. So get consumable actions and get, oops, oh god, oh no. Get consumable button. Button? Technically there's only one button, that's fine. Right, we don't want these to be, I know they're technically not hit testable, right? Let's make sure everything is not hit testable. I don't think text is not hit testable anyways. It's the boxes that I'm concerned about. Not hit testable. Not hit testable. This basically prevents the mouse from interacting with it. Even if the mouse isn't on screen, oops, sometimes it can still interact with things that are hit testable. It was doing that earlier with the buttons. We didn't need the buttons anyways. That's why I got rid of them. Oh, this is supposed to say. So actually, let's think. What can the action for this be for consume? Middle mouse button. I'll have to set that up at some point. So those are all not hit testable. Let's make sure these are not being set to hit testable. So not hit testable. That means it's still visible though. And not hit testable. And so when we were exiting, hold on. That must be on the player, right? Somehow. Yeah, here it is. So basically, I gotta do this. I gotta make sure all of these get disabled at this point. Even though these might not be visible, we're still gonna go ahead and make them invisible, just in case they're visible. It's better to just do it, even if you don't need it. So we're making them hidden. All right. That should cover that. So now let's make a new enhanced input for the consume. God, I gotta figure out how to do this again, because this is something that's somewhat new to me, because I haven't really worked a lot in Unreal 5.4. For the last 2 years roughly, I've been working in Unreal Engine 5.0, which is the first version. So this is actually something that came out in 5.1, I think, which is like a year and a half old at this point. It's a new way of setting up inputs. It's not complicated, but like I'm still getting used to it. So default is the one we want. These are all of our mappings. Some of these are brand new. Some of these are old, so like default ones. Like these are the defaults. That's also default. This one I set up. Oh, interact. Oh, I don't think I'm using that one, am I? Not anymore, right? Event. Enhanced input interact. What? No. Enhanced input interact. There it is. No, I wasn't using it, so we're not using that at all. That's one that I made, I think, right? So I should probably just delete that. So we're gonna go in here. There it is. Did I make that? I think I made it. I don't think that's a default one. I think that's the original version of interactions with the item, but then we split it into inspection, take, read, and drop. I'm just gonna repurpose this for inspection, consume. And also this should be renamed. This is not right. Let's keep it consistent, so inspection, take. So inspection, consume. I think we just need to make sure it's a Boolean, correct? Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So then I can go back into here and repurpose consume. Let's put that at the bottom though. Why does it do that? So inspection consume is middle mouse button. For now. Might change it. I'm not sure. Alright. So we can close that. We can close that. I'm gonna separate this a bit more and make sure I label this item interactions. We're gonna make room because we do got the read function we still need to set up. Now we've got a new, or not function, event. Enhanced input consume inspection. Let's just call it inspection consume. I guess you don't have to type enhanced input. Okay, got it. So we can only trigger this when you are in item inspection. Shit. Okay. Item inspection, item inspection, item inspection, and then technically this has two options because you can use this in gameplay mode or in inspection mode, either or, and it does do two different things. Okay. Here's the thing: we don't want to be able to use this all the time. We can only do it when we are actively interacting with and inspecting a consumable. So we need to be able to tell the player somehow that this is a consumable item. The thing is, we don't really have anything on the player that indicates the type of item. We might have to add that. So like here, we've done the item inspection code, and we have some specific code here that's only for the consumable. So I guess what I could do is from the player F, could add we could add something else. That's what I'm thinking we do. This might not be necessary. Type of held item. So maybe we could use this in the future, but I doubt it. Hi, Castle. So, do I need to ban you or what? I'm kidding. Obviously, that's not true. Forgot there's a game dev today. Game dev's theme, yes. Castle Cap. Yeah, that's not a Hinterland game, but I like the enthusiasm. What was I doing? You've already you ruined it. You made me forget what I'm doing. Oh right. So we're gonna be adding in. I'm adding in a variable to the player. This isn't necessary, I think, but it'll probably come in handy later. Wait, is that what I saw? That popped up on my feed. I don't. No fucking way. Alright, you know what? We're gonna end the stream here, but first... No fucking way. You weren't kidding. You weren't kidding. Sorry, I'm freaking out. My mic died there, literally, just right there. Okay, let me close the game. I am panicking right now. This cannot be real. No. Oh my god. I'm gonna have a stroke. Okay, we're done with the game dev stream for today because I cannot continue because of what Hinterland just uploaded. Let me find this real quick. I need to make a video on this ASAP. What the fuck? I honestly didn't think this would ever... would be... This can't be real, but it is. Hinterland. Wishlist Black Frost, The Long Dark 2 on Steam. Okay, the music is not copywritten. Or it is copywritten, but you have permission. The Long Dark 2 announcement trailer. It hasn't been a year since Raphael did that teaser, if you remember, about a new game. I don't think. What are these tags? You guys see these tags over here? Why does it say Firewatch Winter? Firewatch Snow? This either has to be like someone hacked their YouTube or something, or this is real and for some reason it just feels too real. This is on the Hinterland YouTube channel, right? Yep. Yep, there's the Broken Silence video. These are all the videos for the Long Dark updates. This is real. This feels so unreal. Remember, this is an announcement trailer. This is not coming out next year or the year after that or the year after that. This is many years away still. But this is so unreal. You know what? Let's record this. This will be my reaction to this. Let's do this without any like editing. All right, here we go. All right. Here's my reaction to Black Frost, the Long Dark 2 announcement trailer. There's a fucking horse! There's other people. Wait. Okay, we'll go out. We'll look at that in a sec. Hold on. The Auroras are still around. A power plant. Live together, die alone. This is a co-op game, by the way, or multiplayer game even. Coming to Early Access 2026. Oh my god. Okay. Let's inspect this very slowly. First off, I have to say that I honestly was not expecting this. Any kind of trailer for whatever their next game was going to be. For years. Maybe a teaser in 2 years, but no. This is so unprecedented. And I know a lot of people are going to say, how are they releasing a trailer for a new game when their current game hasn't even finished? They explained it in their previous dev diary from October that game development takes time. I highly doubt that this is the finalized graphics, art style, etc. for everything, but it takes a lot of time to make this stuff. So they need to work on this years in advance in order to even just release a trailer like this. So this game, like it said at the end, isn't coming out for another 2 years from today, because 2025 starts next month. We have a solid year and 2 months before this might come out. But it might not. It might be towards the end of the year, if we're lucky. All right. We can see a power plant in the background. That's pretty cool. This can't be Great Bear Island. We are not on Great Bear Island anymore. We are definitely on the mainland. Let me get to the next scene. This is very pretty, but like so different. I'm almost getting like, especially later when you see the people, almost like a Borderlands vibes, but crossed with the Long Dark's like form of cell shading, because it's kind of like cell shading art has, you know, different variations to it. Borderlands is a very distinct one, more cartoony than the Long Dark, which is more, I don't know, I'm not like an art person, so I don't know how to describe it, but this is more this is like a cross between the Long Dark and Borderlands, like a happy medium. That's what I would say, but again, I don't know art style, I can't really critique it. But this looks so interesting. We got a deer, at the very least. The deer's returning. I mean, it's a staple of the franchise. It's got to be returning. Cabin on a river. The water's flowing. That doesn't look too deep, though, because I don't think it's running very rapidly. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's running rapidly. We got some kind of contraption here. I don't know what that is. And then we have an actual animation. I'm assuming this is like... This is an animation you have to do in order to chop down a tree for wood. So we definitely got shallow ice or thin ice coming back. It looks like the person's actually like walking steadily so that they don't break through or lose their balance. Got a plane over here, plane crash. This definitely crashed. Because it's... I'm just critiquing like the fact that the ice looks like it formed around the plane, almost as if the plane crashed when the ice was when the water was thawed, like a liquid, and then it froze around it. But I don't think that really matters. Not noticing anything really else. I mean, campfires are back. This doesn't. Yeah, there's nothing. There's not much in here to see, inspect, whatever you want to say. There's more visuals. We got a broken bridge here. This looks cool. We got a little mini town here. A church in the background. Bunch of buildings. Wolves are back. That's a moose right there. That's a dead moose. Those are moose antlers, right? Let me know what you think. Alright, so this is where I started to see the more Borderlands-y type cell shading. It's on I think it's the character face in particular. So Pinnacle Peaches are back. It's the exact same model, probably, maybe, tidied up a bit. You're in some kind of basement. Everything under the house, inside the house, is freezing up. So I wonder if that's an indication of time has passed. It's so cold this like particular winter that things are freezing over. No idea. That yeah, because it looks like even the interiors are starting to freeze as well. This is a game changer. So you got a rifle on your back, you got a horse, and there's more than one person. This is a co-op game. I don't think it's gonna be like multiplayer. I think it's co-op, which I think is far superior than like a multiplayer game. Like people on a server and, the possibility of PvP. This'll be amazing as co-op. And it's going to be a buggy mess, which is why it's going to be in early access. Okay, yeah, more evidence. Co-op is coming. We've got more Pinnacle Peaches. We got books. It looks like that's the survival book, right, for the fire starting. It looks like it. Fire of wood everywhere. The guitar. That's pork and beans right there, I think. I forgot what they're called in game. There's the rifle. I'm not seeing anything else really. Water bottle. There's a lot of stuff in here that's definitely familiar. Reused assets, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. So we hear an animal. Hold on. What animal is that? Here, I'll play with it. That wasn't a wolf. That was something. And we have a sign here that says something. I think it's an H. Harmont, maybe? I think that might be an H, so Harmont. I wish I could zoom in, but there's a maple leaf there. We're still in Canada. Yeah. I might have to take screenshots and like zoom in. We have this, which is reminiscent of the Travoy, and the horse is actually carrying it. That definitely says Harmont. Harmont something. I can't see what it says. There's a person on here. This is an injured person. We got a hockey stick. I think that might indicate we have melee weapons, like proper melee. And then we have these massive power line pylons leading straight into what looks like a city. That looks pretty sizable. Really sizable. That's a water tower there. What looks like apartment buildings. I'm getting the feeling this could be like an open world where everything is seamlessly connected. Not like individual regions like in the Long Dark. But co-op survival experience. Maybe it could be multiplayer, which I wouldn't, be mad at, but I would prefer if it was just straight up co-op. The way that they're looking out at these people in the back now makes me think, okay, I think this is a co-op multiplayer / PvP game. Brown Bramble nuclear power. I can't really tell the rest. So this is a sign for the power plant we saw earlier. That looks like a big ass bridge. So this might actually be that same city, Harmont. It looks pretty big, like bigger than anything the Long Dark would have. The first game. Real quick. Yeah, it really does look like this might be like a PvP game, or maybe these are NPCs that may or may not be friendly. That would be huge if these were NPCs. Perception. This is kind of cool. You're gonna have like co-op specific mechanics that will help you reach certain doorways, windows, entirely different sections of buildings. Even who knows what the possibilities are? But this is definitely a co-op game for sure, at the very least, and it's probably co-op focused for the most part. And this scene, this is oddly familiar, right? Doesn't this kind of remind you of that teaser that Raphael posted? It's very reminiscent of it, but it's not like frozen. It's frozen over in this scene. I don't know why. Like the art style beneath the ice kind of screams it's that same room from that teaser, but from a different angle and some changes. We got a frozen body. There's a crow in here, or some kind of bird. But yeah, this is very reminiscent of that one teaser, but it might not be the same. All right, wolves. This is a really good close-up of the wolves here. They look a lot different, obviously. I wonder if they're gonna do away with the wolf and timberwolf mechanic entirely, and just make wolves, which I guess is technically timberwolf. Wolves should, should behave like timberwolves in the game. That's the normal wolf behavior. That says Harmont. Yeah, I think that's the name of that big city. We got a train depot of some kind, some industrial buildings in the background. The Aurora is back. You can even hear the same sound effect from the first game. Let's keep going. Yeah, you hear it. You heard it right there. The Aurora hum. Brown Bramble nuclear power plant. There's a logo there, and even more Aurora. We have a hazmat suit. That's crazy. And an oxygen tank, which might be required to visit Brown Bramble. And then we have this, which is really weird. I don't know why this kind of reminds me a bit of, like, from the original Tales from the Far Territory trailer, like all the electronics lighting up and the then the handheld receiver just lighting up on the table. I think that was the Signal Void trailer where the handheld is like on the table and it lights up. For some reason, it kind of invokes the same feeling. We have a bunch of electronics just kind of stacked here for some reason. Not sure why. I don't think there's any like images. Okay, that computer right there straight up looks like it's a blue screen. You know, like a blue screen of death. B-sod. Error screen. And then title, Blacklist. Early Access 2026. Live together, die alone. That being the tagline, pretty much confirms this is co-op. Or multiplayer or both. I mean, if it's multiplayer, it's co-op. But again, this is something I did not expect for many years. And this is only the first trailer. I have so many like things I could say right now, but I just can't say them in this like live. This is a live reaction, by the way, but I'm recording it and then uploading it later. I don't know what to say. I'm excited. I'm also scared. But I'm still, I think I'm more excited than anything because this last year, one of my biggest worries is that we're reaching the end of the Long Dark's life cycle, the first game. And when the lore ends, when the lore dries up and there's nothing left to cover, what is this channel going to do? And I've been preparing for that. I'm working on other lore projects for different games, but this being potentially 14 months away to 22 months or whatever, 14 to 24 months away from now, I think this channel is going to be busy. It's going to be quite busy for the next several years. So thank you, Hinterland, for dropping this just out of the blue. I can't imagine the amount of work that's just gone into this trailer alone, just putting it together. And I'm assuming this is all gameplay footage, but I didn't see like a disclaimer if it was or not. But I'm assuming it at least demonstrates the new things, the new mechanics, and will hopefully be reflected in the early access. So this has got to be years in the making alone, and it's not even out yet. All right, well, I guess I'll see you guys later. Go check out the lore videos that have been coming out for the most recent update. Leave likes and comments on those videos as well as this one. Please let me know in the comments your thoughts on this, and I'll see you later. Bye. All right, that was a goodbye for the video. All right, this stream is ending here. I'm at a loss for words. Oh my god. I can't believe this is happening. Dude. I'm uploading this right now. So I gotta go. Everyone, go. I'm literally like flabbergasted. Everyone, please leave a like in the live stream. Subscribe and hit the notification bell if you haven't already. Come by tomorrow for another The Long Dark stream where we will probably be talking about this trailer extensively and the future of The Long Dark. We're going to be finishing up episode 4 for Wintermute. I'm going to be uploading what I just recorded as the video, as a first actually, yeah, I'll upload that as a first impressions / reactions video, and then I'll do a breakdown. I'll do like a more scripted breakdown tomorrow, not tonight. But I'll probably start writing it. Yeah, go check out any lore videos you've missed for the trader. The next trader video, I think originally it was going to come out Saturday, let's push that until like probably Monday, because I'm gonna be busy with this for the next few days for sure. But go check out the previous 3 trader specific videos for the trader storyline if you haven't caught up yet. I